Okay, I'm going to talk about training orbit. The objective of this presentation is to help you understand our business, our mission, what we are trying to do, who are our audiences, what we expect to deliver from them, etc. So training orbit. Training orbit is a portal to enable talent development. It's a global portal expected to touch individuals and companies across the world. Training orbit will do two things. One, it will help in the identification of the training needs. Two, it will help in the identification of training programs or courses. Now, what we have tried to do is take a holistic approach to training. Now, we see there are sites where you can find training programs, where some training programs are listed by different training providers, etc. So that is one where you go. If you know what you are looking for, you can go to that site and find those training. So that is one approach. However, we have tried to take a holistic view of training in the sense that look at individuals, look at employers, see what training would make sense to them from the perspective of career development, from the perspective of employee development. Identify that and then move into looking for the right training rather than jump into the training itself. In a way, therefore, we are approaching and helping you understand your needs, training needs, your development needs, and then lead you to the right training once you have identified the skills where you want to develop. Now, having said this, what it means in a simple way to take an analogy is take a combination of a clinic plus a pharmacy. We go to a clinic, we go to a hospital, we do diagnosis of the illness or health, and then the doctor or the clinic prescribes some prescription from medicines. We go to a pharmacy to buy those medicines. So here what we are doing is this particular piece, the training needs piece, is similar to a clinic where an individual or the company is going to do a diagnosis of their skills and then identify their training needs based on the career aspirations or the business goals, etc. And once they have identified the training, they go to the pharmacy where here it's a marketplace for training providers to put their training programs. So go to the marketplace and fetch the right kind of training. Now I'm going to go a little deeper from here. Who are our audience? Whom are we addressing? Who we want to bring into this community? The community is going to consist of training orbit community. On the one hand, it is going to include people who are seeking training or what we call as training seekers. The training seekers could be anybody. It could be me, it could be you, it could be anybody who is looking at developing their themselves and their skills. So there are individuals here. Now then we have companies or employers, as we see that they are looking at developing their employees. So this is two segments of the training seekers. So therefore we could have individuals and we could have employers. Having said this, a small caution is required here in training orbit. In the individual segment, we are not looking for developing or services for students. We are not looking at students, and also we are not looking at early entrance to career. We are not looking at them. So we are essentially looking for people who have at least a few years of experience, from there on up to the senior most people. So that's what we are looking at here. Therefore, employer makes sense because they are not going to have students, etc. So this is the training seeker part of the community. Then the other side of the community is where we have the training providers. The training providers, as we know, can be of different natures. Now we would have individuals who provide training, right? So it could be a freelancer, it could be a part-time trainer who could be doing programs in the company or doing public programs, etc. And then we also have the training company. The training companies could be where they have multiple trainers working within their organization. In India, for example, it could be NIIT, for example. Or it could, apart from companies, we could also have institutions which do training. For example, IIMs or the Harvard offer management development programs. So those could also be our audience because that's a platform from which people are learning. So we are talking of a community of people who might be actively or passively looking for developing themselves, and we are looking at training providers who provide training in any form. Now again, this is needs to be understood. Training is, we all know, appreciate, is provided in various forms. It could be as classroom training, which is the traditional way of providing training. Again, it could be that trainer, if I am a trainer, I am engaged by a company, let's say Ford, engages me to come and do a training program for its employees. So, or it could be that I do a program wherein I call nominations and it's open to anybody and everybody wherever they are working. So what we call as a public program. So one is the classroom kind of mechanism, or it could be virtual. Today we are moving into a virtual space where programs are conducted by somebody somewhere in the web world, let's say in America. So the people are doing courses from there, and then there are students who take this training program from across the world. It could be anywhere, anybody. Now each has advantage and disadvantage, and virtual classrooms also have two modes. It could be something instructor-led, that is, I sit and I organize people walking into the virtual classroom at the same time, and then I impart the training. Or it could be absolutely instructor-less, where the programs are loaded onto a server, somebody comes in at fixed intervals, takes those training programs, and there are courses, there are exercises, etc., etc. So that's virtual classroom. We could also have things like one-to-one coaching. One-to-one coaching again can be over the web, or it could be at an individual face-to-face. And then of course we have also the seminars and conferences, which are also another way of mechanism of imparting knowledge. So this is what you are seeing here in this part of the presentation is the community. The community includes individual training seekers, employers who are looking at developing their employees. The training seekers community includes the training providers who are individuals, trainers, or it could be training companies. And then the training, the way it is imparted in all forms, which is there. The other dimension which many people ask me every time is, first of all they ask me is, for which country is it? I say the country is the web. It's not about any one physical geography, it's not India or America. It's about the web. Web is the word which we are targeting. Two, what people ask me is it only for IT? Is it only for manufacturing? This covers every industry. Industry is like IT, information technology, or manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, banking, insurance, any kind of industry, because everywhere employees are involved. Every company wants to, irrespective of the industry they are in, wants to develop their employees. So there is nothing fixed on the industry. Similarly, function. Function means, for example, HR is a function, finance is a function, accounts is a function, sales is a function. So our training orbit or training community will include people and training program across different functions. So that is what this landscape of the training orbit community is going to be. Training seekers, training providers who provide training in different form across industries, across functions. And we will gradually also become multilingual. To start with, we will be offering the services in English. Slowly we will migrate into other languages too, right?